Welcome, Solarah here. I hope you guys are doing well today. I've been wanting to get to do this video for you since Tuesday morning. I woke up on the night of the eclipse, so it's Thursday, the 11th of April as I am recording, and of course we had the total solar eclipse, new moon in Aries, occur on Monday, April the 8th, and that night I woke up right before 3 in the morning and just started to receive these downloads. And this is what this message is going to be based upon. Diving into the downloads I received, I'll see how it comes out now that I've hit record and whether we'll go into cards or not. I'm going to do my best to keep this brief, but you all know what that means for me. I'm not always good at keeping my videos below the hour mark, but I will do my best to do that today because I do have some things to do. And I also want to give you a heads up that my formatting here is probably going to be shifting and I'm going to be doing a lot more blackout videos because I've been receiving a lot of downloads in the middle of the night or in the early hours of the morning, and instead of sitting on it and waiting, I think I'm just going to start doing more blackout videos. So if you see me start showing up here with more blackout videos, that would be the reason why, and also because I have a lot of adjustments and transitions going on in my own personal life in terms of my living situation also. So what that means is that I probably will be able to show up here a lot more, but it will be more blackout videos, and when I get a chance to do actual visual videos, I will do those too. So the main title for today's message is You Are a Portal Through Which Death Goes to Die. So this is a message that was coming through for someone. You are a portal through which death must go to die. In other words, there's something about your energy signature that allows for the collapse of an old cycle. And I'm going to get into some of the things that were coming through as I was channeling this message in the early hours of Tuesday morning. But before I get into that, I'd like to take a moment to welcome you all. Welcome those of you who are visiting for the first time. If you were attracted by the title, I do invite you to, chill out, stay, listen to the message, see if you're vibing with not only the message, but also with my energy and my frequency. And if you're not vibing with my frequency, I suggest that you find your rightful alignment. Because if you don't like a person or you don't vibe with them, it's best that it's an indication that energy fields are not in simpatico, which is fine. It doesn't make a person good or bad. It just means you're not in frequential alignment. And the whole point of ascension right now is to rise and to find our true frequency, to maintain it and to keep going higher. And anytime we put ourselves in situations where we are out of alignment frequentially because of the choices we make to be in places where we don't belong, then we are ultimately causing issues for stagnating self. So if you're not vibing, I wish you well, and I hope you find the beings with whom you are in frequential agreement. For those of you who are returning, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for all of your love and your support. Thank you if you've subscribed. Thank you if you just tuned in. Thank you for your support across all my platforms on Solarah Rises, Daily Alchemy, as well as my Substack, those of you who support me with my writing endeavors. And for those of you who would like to join me over on Substack, where I write quite frequently on the energies as well as my own experiences, I invite you to do so, and we'll put the link in the description box below as well as in the comments section. I also want to take a moment, because I haven't been on here since I posted the announcement, that I have a few events happening in the month of April. I have the first one occurring this Saturday, the 13th of April. I believe it's happening at either 10 or 11 Eastern Standard Time, and it is my second small group, Road Back to Wholeness group. That's occurring this Saturday the 13th, and also the last Saturday in April, the 27th. So for all information on how to book and to join that, please check out the links below, where I will specify the links in accordance with date. There are still many well, there's only 7 spots available for each date, but there's still quite a few slots open. Okay, so the Road Back to Wholeness small group is an opportunity for you to partake with a group in kind of what I do one-to-one in soul recovery. But the focus right now is really in anchoring ourselves and shifting our material realities by recognizing what it is that we are responsible for shifting on this plane in terms of reconnecting with the earth. And that really has to do a lot with our relationship with the material, with our bodies, our own health, and how we can become more autonomous and have authority over that, because your body is the vessel through which your frequency is established physically, which makes your ability to hold and to access your true abundance really important. So for many of you through this eclipse window, you're purging materially, physically, and so I really want to, because it's the most confusing plane to kind of navigate through. I really want to be able to offer my services in that way. So the Road Back to Wholeness is about dealing with coming back into oneness with self on every plane, so dealing spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and physically or materially. But right now, I've been led and guided to share a lot when it has to do with recovering full authority over our bodies. And for those of you who are unaware of what I mean by that, there are videos I've done, I think it was like 2 videos back, where I spoke about the importance of this, because the parasitic energies and entities that ran the false matrix are also responsible for the origins of much of the illness that had us stuck in death and decay cycles. I'm not getting into that today. That's because I've gone into that in depth in another video, as well as a lot over on my Substack. But if you're interested in the Road Back to Wholeness small group on the 13th and the 27th of April, this is the focus to help you to move deeper into personal alignment wherever you may be on your own individual journey. It's also a wonderful way to connect with others and to have support. I find that whenever I do these groups, the people who are supposed to come together in order to also assist one another frequentially and through their own experiences, it's always a beautiful, harmonizing, activating experience. So please check that out. For those of you who are interested in my Tarotstrology group Q&A that is happening on Sunday, April the 28th. There are 13 spots available for that. I don't know how many have already been sold, but the focus this month will be your Mars placement and how Mars has an effect on what we're going through right now collectively, how Mars is aiding the ascension, and how Mars is assisting you in your own individual energy blueprint, and what that means for you as a what that means for your cosmological identity. Okay, so if you're interested in that, the link for that will be below. Quick announcement about the Substack also. For those of you who don't, want to do the other Q&As, part of the Substack membership that people get access to who are monthly and annual patrons is a monthly group Q&A. So I've tried to create different opportunities for people to connect with me, and so there it all is, okay? So let's see what was coming through. So what was coming through was this idea of death spells must come to you to die. So the main message was you are a portal through which death goes to die. And what was really coming through there also was the Aries connection, but not only Aries, but Aries, Mars, and Scorpio. So for those of you who have very dense Aries or Scorpio energy, or you have Mars in Aries or Mars in Scorpio, this might have something to do with you also, because your astrology is a good indication, which is how and why I do tarot astrology, of what your energy signature is. Okay, so if you're dealing with someone with, for example, Mars in Scorpio or Mars in Aries, this kind of energy makes complete sense, because Scorpio is the energy that facilitates complete transformation and transition, but Aries opens the door. And Mars energy, which rules over Aries and co-rules over Scorpio, is the planet that kicks the door open for rebirth cycles. Okay, so very heavy Aries, Mars, Scorpio energy coming through, and maybe that's heavy in your chart. Okay, another area of interest maybe for those of you who have 1st or 8th house stelliums, or a lot of activity in your 1st and your 8th houses. This could also you know, bring more confirmation for what you've sensed. But yes, death spells must come to you to die. So in other words, you hold within your energy field the ability to bring the end of cycles. This is also, you know, to a lesser extent, Saturnian energy. And what I mean by the fact that you bring the end to cycles, I'm not just talking about small cycles, although if this is your energy signature, you definitely bring small cycles to an end also. I'm talking about like what is occurring and why I was woken up in the middle of the night a few hours following the total solar eclipse, is that there's something about your energy field that is bringing it's like you're bringing the old world to an end. And what I was also channeling, okay, so before I get into that, that's how powerful you are. You have the ability to neutralize the effect. So yes, that's what it was. So there's something about your energy field where you have the ability to neutralize the effect of death energies that are supposed to be on their way out or to recycled. There's something that about your ability to neutralize the effect and to direct these energies to the portal that is necessary for their exit, for their extinction, for their recycling, for their redirection or reconstitution, or wherever it is that they're supposed to be. Because understand and overstand that the false matrix was run off of keeping us out of harmony in all ways. And so as creator beings existing in an existence whereby we live with energy that have polarities that have been expressed through dualism that has caused a lot of imbalance and disharmony. Our job as high frequency beings and the purpose of ascension in order to rebirth the earth has to do with reinstating the proper death and birth cycles that promote our harmony. So I'm going to say part of that again. Promoting the proper death and birth cycles that maintain a sense of harmony is a really important aspect of who you are, not only as a high frequency being, but as a conscious creator. When we are able to properly maintain that in self, we do it for the earth too, meaning that on an individual level, we must become vigilant and aware of when energies, cycles, situations have reached their point of expiration and not holding on to them past that, because then when we do that, the death energies when we do that, the cycle then turns into our suffering because we're holding on to something past expiration. Okay, so the Matrix had us stuck in suffering by creating complete disharmony in various ways. So for the one, on the one hand, there was a lot of holding on to things past the point of extinction, meaning that when things are meant to close out and die, if we don't let that natural process occur, then we end up opening the door to more struggle and suffering. We open the door to more harm, right? Because we don't know how to let go. And that's part of the codependency programming that we were also stuck in, where we were programmed to believe that we're supposed to hold on and to keep going and to persevere and all of that. And there's a time to do that, but there's also, a lot of us were programmed into guilt, into shame programming that had us constantly feeling like we had to continue on a path. And it wasn't from a place of being in alignment, but it was from a place of guilt, fear, and shame. And whenever we operate from guilt, fear, and shame, which are lower emotional frequencies, vibrations, we are establishing within our own energy fields cycles that further promote that energy. Okay, now there are some of you who your energy signature, it's got this magnified ability to birth and to destroy. And this again is very much connected to the rising of the Divine Mother, because this is feminine energy. This is the feminine energy of creation and destruction that so many beings have fear around externally, but really they have fear around it because of its internal power. And when we fear that part of ourselves that are here to not only create but to also destroy in order to bring balance and harmony, then what we end up doing is wielding that energy and that power in ways that cause untimely death, unnecessary destruction, whether it's we reap that upon ourselves or others or both. So for example, a person who holds this kind of really potent energy where a death spell is sent to you to die, where energies that have expired are literally, your energy field has this effect where it can neutralize it and send it to the right place. You are probably a person who's had a lot of volatility, 1444 as I say this, a lot of volatility in this material existence for as long as you weren't aware of that. And that's because this powerful energy, if it's not wielded correctly, it will destroy you. So for example, people who have this kind of energy may struggle from, addiction. What the Matrix would call mental issues, emotional balancing issues, which are really just a reflection of you not being in alignment with self, and especially in the mental and the emotional planes. But that's because you have so much of this energy that is supposed to be directed for very divine purposes and for the purpose of bringing forth and sustaining cosmological order. And instead of using it for that powerful thing that it's here for, it's stunted, it's repressed, and energy doesn't die. It just finds a way to express itself. And if it must find a way to express itself and it's not being wielded properly, then oftentimes it's going to bring untimely energies. It's going to bring imbalance. It's going to bring destruction. And this ultimately is what the false matrix wanted for you to do, and it's how it wanted you to be, because for as long as you were out of alignment, the spells that they were using to keep you silenced, blinded, out of your divine truth could be more active and even be activated by utilizing the very power you have for destruction that you weren't aware of. In other words, that power of destruction and creation that you have was being used against you instead. And we've talked about this over the year, in many different ways. I won't get into that right now. Okay, so another thing I was channeling when I woke up was I kept on hearing this line from the Bible where I think it's when Yeshua walks into a synagogue and somebody began to manifest, right? Like these demons began to manifest, and they were terrified when they saw Yeshua, and they said to him, why are you here, Son of Man? Have you come here to trouble us before our time? Right? They were asking him afraid. And the thing about it was that he didn't approach the being through which these demons were manifesting. He didn't approach them. These demons, the minute he entered into the synagogue, grew afraid and exposed themselves and began to talk. Sorry, let me just fix my computer, just timed out on me. And they began to talk. And this is a reflection of what it is that the level that many of you are reaching, if this message is applicable to you. What that means is that the further you are in divine alignment, the higher you get into your frequency, the more that these energies that have been hiding and have had a vested interest in keeping you blinded and out of your truth, the more that they have to expose themselves, because they can only hide within deception. They cannot mask themselves when you are standing in the light of your truth, when you are living in divine alignment. And for many of you, this is the energy you're stepping into right now, which is also why this whole portal within you has been activated in right alignment, because this portal was active in you, but like I said before, when you're not in alignment with your truth and with your power and with your energy, then those kinds of portals and access points that exist within your energy field can be used against you. And in fact, that's why in the false matrix system, they were hacking into the energy of many of us, of high frequency divine beings, because they knew the power of what we possessed. And if we weren't accessing it rightly, they were either, if they could use it to access other things, they were doing that, or if they could shut it down all the more in order that we would stay unaware, and therefore they could continue with their shenanigans. That's what was happening also. So for example, what I mean by that, okay, so for those of you who have been through this season, you have been purging on a material level. Maybe you've been purging through how you live, through your money situation has shifted, or for many of you, because you are so deeply aligned with the grid systems of the earth, you are purging from your literal body. You're purging the parasitic energies that have fueled the illnesses and the stories that had taken over your body due to the false matrix agendas. So for those of you who have been noticing these things coming up, illness is a manifestation in this situation. And, as I will always say, please go and seek the help you need on an individual level, regardless as to what that looks like for you. But if this is your story and you have been purging through your body, the only way you're able to purge an energy is when that energy begins to make itself known. Okay, so whether that energy begins to make itself known spiritually, and you become aware of energies and entities that work against you, or whether you begin to connect on the mental planes and you begin to realize, oh, wait a minute, the way I think about myself isn't in alignment with my truth. The energies that I am streaming into my mental reality actually belong to other beings. When you become aware of that, you can do something about it. Emotionally, it's like when you begin to be aware of your triggers and how they connect to your traumas, and how they contribute to the way you think, or how you've been programmed, or how you behave. When you begin to identify these patterns, then you can change them. It's the same thing with your body. So a lot of the time when you are beginning to manifest illness, it's actually showing you what needs to come into alignment in your body. It's not there to bring you into a state of fear or to think things that will take you into a state of fear. It's actually there to help you get a higher sense of authority. Illness is a message that is always going to be there to help you to see what is actually at play in your energy on the physical level. And it will show you what's happening in your body, but when you are able to connect with that, you will also see that the patterns that are existing within your body, especially if you get that all parts of your body are connected to the planets and the zodiac, when you begin to really understand and overstand the connection of that and how symptoms are therefore manifesting in your reality, then you begin to see where there are material energies playing out in your reality that match that too. Okay, so for example, if you are a person with a lot of gut issues, that means that there is an imbalance in your Virgo energy. And it's really important to get that back, because the Virgo energy is where your energy personally begins to be stabilized enough for you to do what it is you came here to do. So if you have issues in your gut that are causing imbalance, then it will affect your ability to be stable in yourself and to therefore organize your life and your reality, your mind and your environment in a way that is conducive to what it is that you actually came here to do, but also that is conducive to your own personal rhythms, your own health, and your own wealth and access to it. Okay, so everything is interconnected, and everything that your body is connected to cosmologically, your body is connected to, all of your organ systems are connected to the zodiac signs as well as the planets, but it's also connected to the portals that exist on the earth planes. And for some of you, that connection is going to be stronger based upon who you are cosmologically. And this message is for you because what is occurring right now is that as you rise into this position to activate the fullness of this portal, where you are literally letting the old world die through you, and it's having a grand collective effect, and therefore allowing for the birthing process of the true earth, then what is also happening is that the portals within the earth that also aligned with this energy are opening too. So what do I mean by that? I've talked about this briefly before, but especially over again on my Substack. The matrix, the false matrix system, shut down almost every ability that the earth and its true inhabitants had to stay in harmonious union with the fullness of who we are. And it did that by constricting us into energy that promoted cycles that we'd be stuck going around and around in and never knowing, because we didn't have that cosmological access or wisdom. And because the scenery was constantly changing, we just assumed we were going somewhere, but really we weren't. So when we're not under this energetic enslavement, bondage, imprisonment, then the earth has natural portals where energies that no longer support the balance and the harmony of the earth can go to be cleared. And this works also through us. We're connected to it. It's actually how the moon, when the moon is not hijacked, that's the purpose of the moon assisting us to do that. So your emotions are very connected to the grids of the earth. Your emotions run the grids of the earth, which is why in the false matrix, they wanted you cycling through fear, guilt, and shame, because when you're stuck in those lower frequencies, they're constricting energies that help to keep you stuck. Okay, so, but the Divine Mother, the Divine Father want you to have all access and to be able to be the wholeness of who you are, and to be able to constantly regenerate and evolve, because that's your birthright. And so the earth was created in order to facilitate that too. And so the moon every month helps to draw your emotions forward so that you're able to purge yourself of that which is no longer going to be useful, because it is through your emotions, which are connected to your waters, that your reality is birthed. So if your emotional fields, your waters, are murky and polluted, and they're never being replenished, and they're not being circulated and taken away, and you don't have the right flow, and you're in this stagnancy of repression, suppression, and not able to process because you don't know who you are and how you work energetically, then you stay stuck. And a lot of physical illness is also a result of emotional stagnation. And so emotional stagnation will make you physically sick, but it will also keep you stuck, cycling through the same energy again and again until you process that wounding. It's why and how the Matrix needed you constantly in trauma cycles to keep you stuck. Now, the portals within the earth that had been locked down and shut to stop our ability to purge ourselves fully have now opened. Or that's what I was being shown. That's what I was being woken up to be shown on Monday. So it's happening in the earth, and it's happening to those beings whose energy fields are in alignment with those specific portals, to the point where there are beings who are going to be sent to you, situations that are going to be sent to you because some kind of ending of a cycle or a situation needs to come. And when something ends cyclically, it opens the door to something new. So oftentimes when an energy is going somewhere to die, it's also going there to give back anything that has been taken through the cycle. So an example of this is when I was closing out a cycle a few years ago with a karmic being. I knew what this person was doing to me, and still my guides sent them into my reality in a very real way, and I had to sit there and take it. And what they kept saying to me was, this person must return and be in your energy, because the cycle that you've had with them throughout many incarnations is now closing out and shutting down. And there are things that they took from you that now need to be returned. The scales must be balanced. And in order to do that, there has to be an interplay in your energy, and you have to be activated back into your power through that. And sure enough, it was painful as fuck, but it did happen. In fact, the reason I can sit before you today knowing what I know now is because of that interaction that I was dreading. That's an example. It doesn't always have to be, tough. But that, the example of an energy having to come to you in order to die and in order to give you back what was lost, that's a normal part of a cycle closing for all of us. But this energy is speaking about someone who this is happening. You have this portal energy that allows that to happen on a grander scale. In other words, a person might be sent to you, a complete stranger, might be sent to you because you have, they're interacting with you energetically is going to be the catalyst for something that has to be shut down, whether they consider that to be for good or for bad. How it plays out, it doesn't really matter. It's time for that thing to be shut down, so it's being sent. They're being sent to you for that to be activated, that process to be activated. And at this point, it's going to be grand cycles. So these could be cycles that, for example, a person comes to you, and these are things that have been playing out ancestrally throughout the age of Pisces, or even all the way back to the previous golden age in their family line. And just by coming into your energy, you collapse those dominoes, the domino effects that had those cycles alive, that kept them going. Okay, so another thing that I was seeing and picking up on was, and this isn't the first time I had this download was back in 2022. I want to say it was like October of 2022. It was the autumn of 2022. I had a dream, and I saw, in my dream, I saw a star collapsing, but it wasn't like anything I'd ever seen. And so I began to do research, and I kept on hearing the word neutron, and that's when I began to look into neutron stars. And I didn't go too deep into it. I don't know much about them, but I knew that's what I'd seen. I'd seen something collapse that I guess we call in in astronomy or in these sciences, a neutron star. So when I woke up and I was receiving these downloads, that's what I kept on hearing, black neutron star. And so I've pulled up a website, and I'm going to read to you some of the things that I found to be interesting. And as I do that, I know I'm going to connect with more things to share. So It says, this website is astronomy.com. It isn't a secret that humanity and everything around us is made of star stuff, but not all stars create elements equally. So be aware of that. Not all stars create elements equally. Sure, regular stars can create the basic elements: helium, carbon, neon, oxygen, silicon, and iron. But it takes the collision of two neutron stars, incredibly dense stellar corpses, to create the heavier elements like silver, gold, and platinum. Now, silver, gold, and platinum are not just heavy elements or metals that have more weight than the basic elements, but they're also the metals that in our material reality are considered to be precious. Okay, but they come from the crashing and the collision of neutron stars. So what I'm intuiting here and what I'm channeling here is that whoever this is for, your star lineage might have been born through this process in some kind of way. In other words, you're not born of the basic elements. And this isn't to be hierarchical or elitist in any way. It just is what it is. It's not about ranking. It's just truth. This is how all things work. Not all things we're all equal, but not all things are created to be the same or to have the same weight. So again, the reason that this energy is activating where you're a portal through which death goes to die is because there's something about your energy where it holds the origin and the original story of the earth. So you might be one of the original guardians, you might be one of the beings through which the earth was actually created, but there's a level of cosmological preciousness and value in you that is very important in bringing the old world to a literal close and opening the new earth. And the reason why you've been so harvested and shut down was because of the material access you were giving other beings based upon the weight of your cosmological value. Is what it comes to. Like, this is big energy to have the ability in your energy field to open up these portals that have been closed for so long and to collapse into an entire era and an entire earth phase through your energy. It can only happen because it was through you that the original earth phase began, because that's how energy works, how things begin. If you want something to close out properly, it must go back to its place of origin. So it's almost like there's something going back to its place of origin. And even when I say that now, there is this deeper message coming through, and I've been talking about this since the beginning of the year, about how 2024 is this year where we are going back to the inception point, that place where the false matrix began and it entered into our reality to collapse it. I feel like through the new moon eclipse that was accomplished. So in other words, whatever seed point, genesis point through which the false matrix entered, it's been completely collapsed. And if it's been collapsed in that way, then it's been collapsed in all of us on an individual level. And now, of course, then it's going to be up to our own personal autonomy and authority to move in that power and with that recognition. So neutron stars aren't just notable for this, from their crushing gravity to the universe's strongest, this is why, to the universe's strongest magnetic fields, extremes of physics are the norm for neutron stars. And unlike black holes, these exotic objects are observable. Yeah, so when I had that dream in 2022, I kept on thinking, oh, is this a black hole I'm seeing? And my guys kept on saying, no, no, no. And they kept on at me until I connected with this information about neutron stars. And it says here that they have the universe's strongest magnetic fields. That means that whoever this message is for, whoever is vibing with this, or this is bringing confirmation for, having the strongest magnetic fields means you're able to draw a lot in with ease. And when you're not in proper alignment, what you're drawing in with ease is going to be whatever is within your energy field. So what I mean by that is the reason why, for those of you who've had a really tough time and this message is resonating with you, it was really imperative that you stayed out of alignment, because not only was it important in terms of shutting you down because of your power, but because of the power you had that connected you to the grids, based upon the strength of your magnetism, based upon your ability to draw things in and bring them to death, and therefore to create life. This is very potent divine mother energy that's been activated through this window. I don't know how else to explain it, because I feel like the words I'm using aren't bringing any real justice to the fullness of what it is I'm seeing and feeling, but I'm doing my best here. Okay, so let's see what's going to come through if we go into the cards. Let it fly. He said, let it fly. Okay. I mean, and now I see. Okay, yeah. We have Uranus coming out, the planet, one of the main stars of this age, right? Uranus and Saturn are the co-ruling planets of Aquarius. We have Descendant, Invitation. And then at the bottom we have Opposition, Confrontation, which actually feels very much like this Aries energy we're in. So this is like, what I'm getting is not opposition, but collision. And again, they were talking about how the two neutron stars, it's almost like also what I'm getting from this is the new minerals of the earth have been created or have been accessed. And I don't know whether that is actually literally material or metaphysical, but the new mineral foundation of the earth is here. Everything is founded upon minerals. The false matrix does such a disservice to us nutritionally when they tell us to take all of these vitamins and nutrients that won't do shit for us if our mineral balances are out of whack. Your minerals are your foundation for your health, just like the earth's foundation is based upon its mineral content. You are a reflection of the earth too, and your body, everything is built upon minerals. It's minerals that support all of your functions within your body. Okay, so when we're looking to get our health back in order, one of the most important things we can do in terms of building a new foundation is to rebuild all the ways that we have lost the minerals that we need that support and sustain not only our health but our wholeness. Okay. So for example, if you have gut issues, we're coming back to the gut, and you keep on taking probiotics, you're not doing your body any help if you haven't first replenished the mineral loss that caused your body to be out of bacterial balance to begin with. And everything that we've been programmed to do in order to sustain ourselves in the matrix in terms of food and nutrition have been designed to covertly strip us of our minerals for this reason. So from the farming practices that don't honor the Divine Mother and her seasons and her cycles, to the farming practices that completely will continually farm the same crop and just completely ruin the land, the ways that they go into different parts of the world and strip them of their mineral content and not replenish. All of that is a direct reflection of what it is that we've been taught to do on a personal level too, and we've been kept blinded from. So the foods we eat, most of them are devoid of the true minerals that once sustained them, because the earth has been so severely, it's been severely raped of its essential nutrients. And so anytime you are wanting to recover your health, one of the key things that you need to look upon in terms of the foundation you're setting to rebuild the balance that promotes your health is the foundation will be your minerals. Okay, so that's what I'm getting. There's like a new mineral balance that is being born. And it's based on very primordial energies. That's what I'm getting with the descendant and the invitation. It's based upon very primordial and ancient energies. And that's because there are things that are returning onto the earth at this time that have not been able to be here since the previous golden age. There are very potent energies and activations that are coming on board now that haven't been able to be here since then. And it's because of that the true guardians and those of you who have this capability within your energy field, you're being activated in this way. And it's because of this also that the earth is happening. It's all happening simultaneously. It's happening in the earth because it's happening to you, and it's happening to you because it's happening in the earth. And all of it has to do with the widening of the bandwidth that allows us to draw back into the earth with that ultramagnetism, to draw back into the earth all we need to come back into harmony, but also to reconnect with our ability to regenerate. Instead of being constantly in the same cycle and dying in that cycle, we have the ability to go farther and to regenerate and reconnect with the wisdom that also helps us to remember the keys to our own immortality when it comes to how we look after ourselves. And I talked about this in the last video too. Okay, so that change is here, and it's a collision, and it's a wild card. That's another thing that I kept on hearing coming up to this eclipse. There were a lot of analogies that had to do with like high stakes poker, and I don't play those games. I know a little bit about them, but I don't play them. But I kept on hearing royal flush, so I had to go and look up what a royal flush is. And I guess that's when in, I think, Texas Hold'em, you get a 10, Jack, Queen, King, and Ace in the same suit. That's considered a royal flush, and it's like the winning hand. I kept on hearing that, and in terms of what was happening through these eclipse energies. And then when I think about these neutron stars and how they connect to silver, platinum, and gold, there's definitely a reinstating also of the true royal lineages. Oh yes, look at that. Waking the lion. And that's the number 19. And what degree was the eclipse happening at? The sun and the moon were both at 19 degrees Aries. And if you want to know more about my insights for that, you can check out the video I did for that on Solarah Rises that was posted on Mondays on the community board. But 19, again, it reconnects us back to the wholeness of our truth. It's when we have called back all fragments of self that we've lost across the trauma timelines and incarnation cycles of the matrix, and we're therefore able, 1515 when I say that, we're able to access our true frequency that reconnects us cosmologically with with what it is that we need in accordance with who we are to draw in to the planet, what it is we need for our own purposes, but what we're here to do also in terms of bringing harmony back on the planet too. It opens us up again to function on Earth as we are cosmologically without the restrictions that were caused not only by the programs of the matrix, but by our adherence to believing things about ourselves that weren't true and therefore kept those programs running. So the 19 is like the returning home to self, the returning home to truth, the waking of the lion. It's Leo energy. It's golden energy. It's golden. Oh my gosh, that's what the Neutron star. It's golden age. The golden age is officially here. The golden gates are open. That's what I just heard. The golden age is officially here. The golden gates are open. The rose's kiss. The rose's kiss. That's the number 9 card. So what I'm getting here is like not only just like the fragrance, there's a sweetness, there's a fragrance, and then there's a ladybug right here on the rose. And ladybugs are symbols of luck and new life. And I'm very drawn to the red, which is like the root energies that are establishing. There's a new layer of sacred geometry that has been laid out through this eclipse that is supporting these new true timelines to be anchored in deeper. And also what I was talking about on Monday was how the eclipses were opening this door where things are being, where you're going to be pulled in very quickly towards what it is you're supposed to be, or where it is you're supposed to be. That's because of this ultramagnetic energy that they were speaking to me about when I woke up on Tuesday morning too. And then of course at the bottom of the deck we do have a burst of magic. 48. Why is this 48? The 48 is important because 4884 was the 8th of April, and that happened on Monday. So here, look at that 48. And if you can see that. And when things come together so beautifully like that, I don't feel like I need to go any farther. Okay, so I think that's all I have. Let's go into my Lemurian deck and get just one more message, maybe. That's another thing. There are Lemurian principles that have not been on this earth since Lemuria that are back now through this window. Lemurian frequencies, Lemurian truth, Lemurian wisdom, things that are activated in our own DNA based upon this Lemurian information, because that's another energy that has been quite powerful through this eclipse that I've been picking up on too. So let's see, and then I'm going to get going. That's too much. Although Earth Star, okay, I can't take all those cards. I'll take the one at the top. Okay, so Earth Star, initiation. I was just talking about this in an article I did on Substack last week about the Aries-Pisces connection and how through the Aries-Pisces connection, the Earth and the Soul Star energies are rooted and activated in our own fields as well as on the Earth. So it's quite fitting that this would be your Earth Star chakra. Initiation. You are standing at a gateway into the unknown with trust in your heart, ancient remembering in your soul, and inner illumination to light the way. You have access to the seat of creation. That's right. I was speaking about this on Monday with how this the new moon in Aries, it's Ace of Wands, right? Aries is the energy that begins the divine spark. It's the start of a new cycle. It's where we begin to access the divine spark that begins all. So you have access to the seat of creation. That's that divine spark, the spark of existence. I even see that, and the codes that hold the blueprints of who and what we are. This place is clear and grounded despite moving through multidimensional realms and able to bridge worlds while functioning in physical reality. The higher you reach for the divine and the realms of spirit, the more important it is to anchor deeply to the earth. So in terms of guidance, as much as you're able to get out and about and to connect with nature is going to be very important. Bringing nature into your home is a really key time, especially if you're going through the purging of these through your physical body, to connect with herbs that support that, like burdock root, yellow dock root, red clover, cleavers, nettle, dandelion, the root and the leaves. Yeah, there's so much. Yeah. I'm trying to think if there's any other herbs that are wanting to come through. No. Okay. I feel like there's one wanting to push through. What are you? I keep hearing yarrow. It's not really the season for yarrow, and yet you can still work with it, you know, for energetic purposes more. Yarrow is a herb that can be used to bind. It's like what is used to when people get married, to bring them together and to bring them into oneness. I don't like that word bind when we're talking about love, but it's to bring them into oneness. So there's something about utilizing the power of yarrow energetically to bring something into oneness right now. And yarrow is also good for breaking spells that have been designed to take you out of that place of oneness, especially like love spells, etc. Which is a whole other download that I have to get through, because there's a lot of that fuckery that's been going on, and not only going on, but it's like the results of that fuckery it's coming into alignment. It's breaking off when it comes to beings trying to connect themselves to your energy wrongfully. Like romantically and wrongfully, you know, people who obsess about you, people who, you know, try to magnetize you into their reality, whether consciously or unconsciously, and that's not the divine plan. Our ancient future, an ancient remembering is emerging. Seed crystals and the knowledge they are imbued with are becoming unearthed. Pay attention to that, or those words, seed crystals. I was speaking about this. The energies that began it all are coming back. The energies that have not been able to be here because of the fuckery of the false matrix and all of its programs, etc. The seeds that this whole thing, not the false matrix, but the whole earth in her origin, this earth cycle, the seeds that started her are coming back. We keep on coming back to this energy of the seed point. But yeah, seed crystals and the knowledge they are imbued with are becoming unearthed. Those who see a better future are not just dreaming. So this would be the way that you'd be attacked, and at this stage you probably are aware and you know it's not real. But what you are intuiting in terms of what some would consider to be utopian or ideal, you're feeling what's happening. Okay, you're not just dreaming, you're not just, you know, grabbing crap out. Well, you are grabbing things that are in the air, but they're in existence, and just because they're not materially here, what is invisible is more real than what is material. The material is the result of is the invisible made manifest, right? So you're tuning into what is because it's what is coming forth. So their hearts and minds are hearkening to the core of earth-based traditions to bring through knowledge that will help shift this paradigm into balance. This card is imbued with activations, and you are being showered with blessings in preparation for a transformation. It may be turbulent at times, but you will grow and heal through the coming journey. You can navigate a situation you have no experience with by being truly present. Integrity and intuition will guide you. And that's another big word that's been coming forth for me. I've been speaking on it a lot, or using it a lot in when I write on Substack. Integrity and dignity. Two words, like those are things that are returning on the earth. Integrity and dignity. So for those of you who want to see the card and the activation, this is it. This is the seabed. and you see the strands of DNA coming together. And all of the light codes, this is interesting because in this, the light codes aren't, it doesn't look like they're streaming into her. It looks like she is streaming them out, and she is the conduit through which she's sending forth these codes. And so I'm getting two messages for that. On the one hand, this is like a message of what's occurring in terms of the Divine Mother restoring us to certain things and to our rightful positions. And this is going to become even more apparent in Taurus season. But I'm also getting that, you know, this energy of you are a portal through which death goes to die. That energy has been activated in proper alignment, and that these are the codes that someone is emitting now, that is assisting this process. Someone or someones are emitting now, that's allowing for this process to ensue. I think that's it. I think that's it. So as things come up that need to be dealt with, let them, because it just means that the things that were hiding and lurking undetected, it can't anymore. So what I mean by that is, you know, the illnesses, the spells, all of these things that are being made manifest that sometimes are uncomfortable, they're not necessarily attacks. I mean, they can be, but even if they are, the point is that they're coming to make themselves known, because these are things that have been hiding and lurking and controlling certain aspects of your reality, and they can't anymore, which is why they must reveal them, or they must unveil themselves in their truth. So yeah, that's all I have time for. Thank you so much for chilling with me. I also want to say thank you to all of you who've been really generous with your time, but also with your donations. Thank you so much for all the ways you support myself, my growth, my ability to show up, to write, to share these messages that I receive, and I hope that they help to edify you and to build you in deeper and in a more rooted way in your truth and your power, because that's what I'm ultimately here to assist in doing at this juncture. And I thank you for all the ways you appreciate me in living out my purpose. Okay, so for all information on how to work and to book with me, you can check out my website, solarah.info. All of this information will also be in the description box below. If you would like to donate to myself, to the channels, and to what it is I'm here to do, you can do so through either my Ko-Fi or through my PayPal, and that will also be in the description box and comment section below. This month I am sharing my Tarotstrology Ascension Report for 2024. It is available either for free or you can make a donation. It's a 33-page report that I wrote back in January concerning the energies of 2024 and the year ahead. Because so much of what it is that I wrote about is being activated through this eclipse cycle, it just seemed right to put this one up on my Ko-Fi and to remove the payment and to just open it up either for free. You can get it for free, like just put in $0, or if you feel led to donate, you can do that too. The egg cleansing manual that I had is still up there, and it's still available to those of you who want it for free or for donation. It's up to you. Yes, and if you're interested to book for this Saturday, then please head on over to my Ko-Fi. If you're interested in, the Road Back to Wholeness for the last Saturday of the month, or the Tarotstrology group Q&A, which is the last Sunday of the month, then the links for that will be in the description box below for how you can book for that too. That's it. I think that's it. So I think that's it. I'm sending you so much love, joy, peace, beauty, every beautiful thing that is your birthright and that you need in order to root yourself deeper into the truth and beauty of all that you are cosmologically across all planes, realities, dimensions, existences. And yes, thank you for being here at this time. I will see you again soon. Take care.